Welcome back to Morning Joy, where truth matters. I'm your host, Keith Downey, and today we are thrilled to have back Guadalupe Radio Network's business manager and Morning Joy's sports guy, David Magallanez. Now, David's been instrumental in bringing men together to grow in faith, strengthen families, and live out their calling as Catholic men, husbands, and fathers. And he's here to share why these conferences are so vital and what it takes to make them happen. Wow. Good morning, and welcome back to the show, David.
Good morning, Keith. How are you doing this morning?
You know, I'm doing better than I was a little bit earlier. You know, it's the coffee thing. The more you drink, the better you are, right?
I think so. The coffee starts the day, so it's very important. So thank you for having me on the show today.
Yeah. For those out there that maybe not be too familiar with what a men's conference is, but what are they and why is it so important for men to come together in this way, especially in today's world?
Yeah, no kidding. So, men's conferences, very important for a Catholic man that, it's a day where we can gather together. And, I think of it as a big pep rally. I think of it as a time where, Keith, I've been guilty of this, like, oh man, I'm too busy. I've got all my husband things, my dad things to do, and I'm sorry I can't go this year. But, so we design kind of a meeting where we go to where the men are at. All right, guys, it's only for one day. We're going to feed you twice, and we're bringing in some great speakers. And so can you give us, from 8 o'clock to, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and go to Mass with us on Saturday. Can you give us that? And I think most men will say yes. And so, we try to meet where they're at, right, Keith? Because I've been guilty of that. I can't make it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Same here. I think I did this last time. I can't remember the reason why I gave the excuse of going to my local men's conference. But yeah, I wasn't able to make it. But I'm already, I think, fired up to at least attempt it to reach it. So, I guess what is the main goal for a men's conference exactly?
I think so. There's a few things that are happening in our life, right? So, and I get it. We're really busy, and we're focused on work. We're focused on our families. We're working to improve, getting better at our job, and providing for our family. But what we really need to do is get back to the basics, and the basics is where's Jesus in your life? Where's that relationship? But also, I think also just as important is, what are you doing as a Catholic man, husband, and father? So I like to talk about those three different categories because for this conference, we're inviting all men 18 and above. Some are single men, some are husbands, new husbands, some are new fathers, some are grandfathers. And so we're trying to invite everybody in. I'm doing one of the witnesses, one of the speeches, and my goal is to make sure that I reach to all of the men and kind of bring the importance of how we play a really crucial role in this thing we call life. And we want to, kind of just bring up the basics, bring up like, okay, guys, I know you've been busy and stuff, but let's go and rehash all the things that we're supposed to be doing. Okay, and I'm not talking about just going to work and trying to get that next promotion. What are you doing with your life, relationship with Jesus? What are you doing with your wife? Are you preparing her and getting her ready to get her to heaven? Because that's one of your number one jobs is to get your wife and to your family into heaven and do everything that you can. So let's just rehash that, guys. Let's slow down, take it easy. Go grab a cup of coffee and let's talk about this. All the reminders of what it's going to take to do all these steps to make sure that you're raising a great Catholic family. You're not only that as well, but what are you doing for the church? What are you doing to help evangelize? And one thing that I just want to share real quick is that as a Catholic man, husband and father, you've got little kids watching you. And I'm not talking about your own kids, Keith, and my kids, your kid, but you've got other kids from other families watching you. What are you doing? What are you doing when you go to Mass? What are you doing when you go to the store? What are you doing when you're at your job, and all these different things. When you're coaching, Keith, when you were coaching, and we need to get back to that one day. But when you were coaching, but you get all these kids watching you, and so what are you doing as a Catholic man? So there's so many things that we want to do in this conference, and just kind of a pep rally. Hey, let's rehash and let's talk about all this again.
I love that. And for those out there, just to provide some context, so the men's conference that you're involved with, it's outside of Houston in Katy, Texas, and it's going to be on June 21st. Are you the MC and also a speaker? How does that work? And then also another question on top of that, for those out there that aren't in this area, maybe they're somewhere across the country, what exactly do you need to put on a men's conference?
Yeah, so I did apply for the MC job and as a guest speaker, but they said, no, David, you can only pick one. So I said, okay, let me do the guest speaker part this year. But, it's a funny story. 2 years ago, we interviewed one of the speakers, Father Ricardo Areola, and he came in, he did our noon show on Monday, and then he was talking about the men's conference, and right after the show, he asked Tim, hey, Tim, can you MC our men's conference? And Tim's like, when is it? It's this Saturday, da-da-da. And Tim's like, no, I can't. Tim said, I can't do it, but I know David could.
I've got the Spirit World on Saturday morning.
Yeah, and so, and luckily for me, I was right sitting, standing next to Tim, and Tim said, hey, David can do it. And I said, yeah, let me do it. And lo and behold, here I am now helping organize a men's conference. I'm one of the guest speakers, and my job is really easy, Keith. I'm piggybacking off of a book that somebody gave me, I don't know, 10 years ago, called The Father's Manual. And I've been holding this book and I've been using it. I probably had it for like 15 years. And then one day I'm like, hey, this is pretty good, and I'm reading it, and it's got all the prayers, all the things that a Catholic man should be doing. And I thought, you know what? I need to share this. Like, I don't know how many men have this book and know about this book. So one of the things that I want to do is talk about, this Father's Manual, and also make it applicable for single men, also for grandfathers. One of the things that we did at our last men's conference, we put a survey together. And so in this survey, we asked for feedback. One of the things they said is, hey, what about for grandfathers and great-grandfathers? What are some things that we can do to help our families get holy, and what can we do as a Catholic man? So I've got a couple of ideas. I don't want to share them yet, but I did learn these from my grandfather and my grandmother. These are things that they did, and and it just impacted me, and I've been carrying it all these years. So, and the question about putting together a men's conference, boy, if you can find a supporting pastor that, if you're listening and you're thinking about a men's conference, go to your pastor, ask him if we can borrow the parish, pay for the parish hall, and get a group of volunteers. Probably the Knights of Columbus will pitch in and do a great, amazing work. And within your archdiocese, there's great speakers. I mean, priest, man, if you can you'll find a priest that want to just talk to the men, and they want to talk to the men and just give it to them, like, hey guys, this is how we should be doing it. And then you're going to have deacons that can talk both ways, right? That, they're in the faith, so deep in the faith, and also at the same time, they're raising a family. And so they can talk both ways as well about that. And so I think, Keith, it's really important that these men's conferences need to be happening. And I think they can be as simple as you want them to be, or that you can make them as really big as you can. And I'm not talking about those 3,000 people men conferences. I'm talking about your local conferences, 100 men, 200 men. So it's really, really doable.
Yeah, and I think it just because of how, we're all kind of spread out, kind of like you were mentioning, and so disconnected with other men that something like this really, the times that I've gone to a men's conference have really like reset how I'm supposed to be as, a father, a husband, and, going into the world, back into the world, you feel energized.
Yeah, and that's one of the goals. One of the goals is to re-energize all the men. So if we can come together this month in June, next month in June, can we come together? Let's re-energize and let's build a band of brothers where we can lean on each other, and we can make a phone call and, hey, David, man, I had struggles going to mass the other day. Oh, tell me about it. What was going on, and so you kind of start developing that. I think men need that. Men need a time to get together as a man. Talk about Jesus, drink a beer, smoke a cigar, talk about your work, the good and the bad. Talk about, I'm coaching. My family, we're trying to figure out what to do on vacation. All those things come up in a men's discussion, and I think it's very important for men to bond together like that.
Yeah, well said. Wow. So the men's conference you're referring to, St. Bartholomew Catholic Church, we'll have all of the show notes for those that are in the Houston area, and that way you can check it out and maybe get your husband, father, or yourself, if you're a guy, to sign up. It's June 21st, Saturday, an all-day conference. But thank you so much, David, for joining this morning to share not only that, but also why it's important to have these men's conferences. So I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Absolutely. And hey, that does it for today's edition of Morning Joy, where truth matters. Now is the time to hop on any of the social media platforms. So whether it's Facebook, Instagram, X, Rumble, TikTok, YouTube, just search Morning Joy Radio or GRN Online, as that is who produces this production. And join us for the After Show Clubhouse. We've got so much more to say and so little time. And that way we extend the conversation, and we want you to be part of it. It's all interactive. So head on over to any of those social media outlets now. And if you're on listening on the radio and you're staying for the Holy Mass, please pray for us. We will continue to pray for you as well. But if we are saying goodbye for the remainder of today, make sure to tune in on Morning Joy, where truth matters, tomorrow at 6 a.m. Central, 7 a.m. Eastern. We've got a lot of news to cover on our weekly news roundup. A lot has happened, my goodness. But hey, if this is it, God bless. Make it a joyful Thursday, and we'll see you tomorrow.
This has been Morning Joy, where truth matters, hosted by Keith Downey. Take some joy with you today. Visit grnonline.com/joy to listen again, share a segment, or answer the question of the day. That's grnonline.com/joy.